Samaritan being hailed a hero for shooting and killing Sunday's active shooter, keeping him from taking more lives at a Greenwood, Indiana mall Sunday night. Widespread mainstream media reports claim it was a statistically unusual event. However, crime researcher and gun rights advocate John Lott has data that says otherwise.
Yeah, sure. Well, we've collected cases in the last year. There have been 10 of these, what police say would have been mass public shootings if it hadn't been for the presence of somebody legally carrying a gun. Since the beginning of 2020, you have like 23 of these instances that have been stopped. They rarely get national media attention. Maybe one of the reasons why the media wants to go and say these don't happen is because while they'll get local coverage, they rarely get any type of national news coverage, even though these are dramatic cases of heroic actions where individuals have saved, according to police, many lives.
Why do you think that is, that the media skips these cases?
Maybe because it doesn't fit their narrative. I mean, there are lots of things here. For example, I have to say I'm kind of at the end of my rope with regard to how the media covers these things. Anybody who watches or reads the diaries or manifestos for these killers know that their goal is to get media attention. And they know the more people they kill, the more media attention that they're going to get. They constantly will write things like, if I can only kill more people than such and such did, I can go and get more media attention. I'm not going to go and argue that we should go and get rid of the First Amendment, but it does give us a window into what we can do in order to try to reduce these attacks. I'll give you one example. If the media reported on this, they would have mentioned the Buffalo mass public shooter. In his manifesto, he explicitly talks about how he picked the target that he did. And the number one thing that he looked at was whether or not the victims there, the civilians, were going to have concealed handguns to be able to go and protect themselves. I can give you dozens of these attacks where mass public shooters in diaries or in other statements have explained that same thing. These guys may be crazy in some sense, but they're not stupid.
Right. I remember you wrote about the Buffalo Shooter's manifesto, saying he actually targeted that grocery store because it was a gun-free venue. The Greenwood Park Mall in this recent mass shooting that happened Sunday, also a gun-free policy was in place there. Do you think that's why the gunman targeted that mall specifically?
Well, I don't know about this guy in particular, but I know time after time after time, when these people leave statements about why they picked the target that they did, they explicitly talk about going to a place where they know victims can't defend themselves. They're not stupid. They know that if people are able to go and defend themselves, they're not going to be able to kill as many people. And that means they're not going to get as much media attention as they want to get otherwise.
What do you think the takeaway should be here? I mean, obviously, a lot of politically charged news headlines. This is a very contentious issue. We have the midterms coming up. With all that factored in, what is the takeaway from this shooting?
Well, I hope what we begin to realize is that 96% of these mass public shootings take place in areas where people are not able to defend themselves. If you want to go and stop these attacks, that seems to me the number one thing that we want to do. I want to do something, but I want to do something that's actually relevant. Indiana had a red flag law. It didn't stop this guy from doing it. It didn't stop the Illinois shooter from doing it. It didn't stop the Buffalo mass public shooter from doing his attack in any of these cases. So let's try to talk about things that actually matter. And this young man, this hero, this 22-year-old there, was an example of how we can stop these attacks.
All right, we got to leave it there. Great discussion tonight. John Lott, thanks for coming on the show.